G'day. Well, today I've returned to the farm I've been coming to off and on over a number of years now to do some detecting, and I've found a lot of good stuff here over the years, so it's time for me to come and have another go. I've got my Equinox 800 over there fitted with the small coil today for a start anyhow, just to do some of the more rubbishy areas to see if I might find something that I missed earlier, and probably later in the day I'll put the bigger coil on to cover the more open areas. Okay, well, let's get started. Due to the past finds I've made in this area just in front of me here, I reckon there was a couple of buildings just in this area, so I think this is probably a good place for me to start today, and I've just got a good signal here, and it looks as though it could be a button. After a while I got another good signal, and out of this hole here's a musket ball. And after a while here's another musket ball. And another button. And here I've just dug what looks like a broken pot base. Just another button. I've been going for a while now, and no coins yet. Just a lot of buttons and bits of lead. But here's something different. It looks like an old drawer knob. Okay, well, I've just dug this old spoon. And over here is a strange looking earwig type bug, and it's doing its best to hide from me. Yes, buttons, buttons and more buttons. And this was possibly part of an old ruler by the looks of it. You can hear all the iron in the ground here, although those blippy high tones is actually large iron, and usually sounds different than a good repeatable non-ferrous target, but I have been known to be fooled. Okay, moving on, and I've just dug this what looks like part of an old candle holder, I reckon. But over here is something interesting. It's one of them old clay pipe bowls. Sort of looks like a fairly plain one, but that's something interesting. You don't find them very often. Okay, I'm heading back to the ute for some lunch, and I've got a good signal which I hope might be a coin, but it's just a brass ring. Ah well. Okay, I'm back out after lunch, and I've put the 15-inch coil on the Equinox, and here's a musket ball. And the next good signal produced this. Looks like a brass fitting, possibly top of a tap or something like that. And another button, but this one's a bit different. It's gold coloured with a crown or something like that on it. Ah, that's nice. It's the 1st of June today, the first day of winter. It's a pleasant sort of a day. We've had some rain, so the soil is moist, and all the old grass is gone, so I can put the coil right on the ground. Just perfect for detecting. But perfect detecting conditions don't always mean good finds, and the afternoon's wearing on and I still haven't found any coins. Oh well, I'll just have to keep going. Here's another button, but it's got a horse or something on it. Or it could even be two horses. That's a bit different. Now, I've just dug this, but I'm not really sure what it is. It looks quite decorative and looks to be a broken part of something. And after a while, another decorative looking item. And I reckon possibly part of an old knife handle or spoon handle, perhaps. And I've found lots of these here in the past. A brace buckle. Well, it's late afternoon now. The cockies are starting to settle in the trees for the night, So I reckon that means it's probably about time for me to hit the road as well. Okay, let's have a quick look at today's finds. And here's all today's rubbish. When I first dug this, I thought, beauty, a Chinese coin. It's exactly the same size and shape. But then I picked it up and, no it's not. And here's today's selection of musket balls. Some miscellaneous items, most of which you've seen in the video already. This brace buckle is dated 1856. Of course you all would have gathered by now that today's most prolific find was buttons. I think I've got about 40 all told today, and on the Equinox they come in anywhere between 9 and 18. And I reckon today's best button is this little gold coloured one with what looks like to be a crown on it to me. And the second best one is this horsey one, which shows 2 horses on it. This pipe bowl wasn't plain as I first thought, but it's got a basket weave design on it and a bit of fancy scroll work underneath. So that's an interesting little find. I'd like to follow up and show you some nice coins, but the fact of the matter is that I just didn't find any today. Whether I've cleaned the site out or whether I was just detecting in the wrong spot, I don't know. But from today's effort, there still seems to be lots of targets in the ground there to dig, so I reckon the potential is always there to find some more coins. I guess that's something I'll have to find out on a future hunt. Okay, well that's about all for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll say goodbye.